we are thrilled to announce that today we are adding 3 things to The Blaze. First, on Thursday, it was a happy day for me. On Thursday, our new correspondent in Washington, D.C., Fred Lucas, went to the White House to pick up his official press pass for the White House. We have just hired...
it's not like he's a White House correspondent.
He is our senior Washington correspondent.
Senior White House correspondent.
White House correspondent. Because we also have a senior Washington correspondent that we're also going to announce today. And that is Sara Carter. Now, you might know Sara Carter's name. Sara is, I think, a remarkable woman. When you look at her, credentials, she is a, and I don't know why I don't have them now because I just did, but here they are. Sara is a woman whose reporting you know. I'm just going to read a little bio on Sara. She's a national, international award-winning investigative reporter whose stories have ranged from the national security, terrorism-related issues to groundbreaking immigration coverage. Just see if you can figure out where we might be headed. Formerly with the Los Angeles News Group and the Washington Times, she is the senior national security war correspondent for the Washington Examiner. She was. And her work along the U.S.-Mexico border for nearly a decade has paved the path in national security stories along the southwest border. Her investigations are the ones that led to exposing the tunnel system underneath our border. All the pictures of the tunnels that you have seen come out in the last couple of years because of Sara. Also, she has uncovered the narcotics trafficking routes and the involvement of the Mexican and U.S. federal officials in the drug trade. She grew up in Saudi Arabia and has traveled extensively through the Middle East, Africa, Europe, and Mexico. She has spent more than 7 months in Afghanistan and Pakistan since 2008. She has been under fire, getting the mortar shells shot at her in the hillsides of Pakistan and Afghanistan by the Taliban. She recently traveled to Pakistan and spent a month traveling with the troops there. I'm trying to think what else there is here that is really... She first came to our attention because she was the first to uncover U.S. documents disclosing the number of Mexican military incursions into the United States, and she was the one that exposed the Ramos and Campeon story. That's how you might know Sara Carter. We are thrilled to have her join us in Washington, D.C. Her mom is from Cuba. Her father is a U.S. Marine Corps veteran who was in the Middle East when she was growing up, and that's why she grew up in Saudi Arabia. She is committed to freedom, and we are thrilled to have her join us. Now, what you would need if you were going to hire a bunch of people in Washington is a Washington bureau, and we are proud to announce that we now have officially a Washington bureau in Washington, D.C. We have been staffing it for the last month or so, and we're currently finishing building it out. I believe it should be up and running soon. First day on the job for Fred Lucas was Thursday, I believe. He's already been in the press room. We're expecting big things from Fred. We'll tell you a little bit about him tomorrow. But we finally have a voice in the press room. I don't know how many times the guy from TheBlaze is going to be called on.
Jay Carney's going to be all over that.
Yeah.
Oh, the Blaze guy. I'm sure you have a question I want to answer.
I'm sure when the president stands up, Fred will be, it's me, it's Fred from TheBlaze. It's Fred. I just got a couple of questions, Mr. President. It's Fred from The Blaze.
We should take bets. Will it be him or the guy from WorldNet Daily called on the least?
That's a good point.
Fred or
Fred.
less consolving?
But here's the thing. Fred is a veteran in Washington, D.C. He's been around for a while. He asks the tough questions. He's known for asking the tough questions. And he doesn't have to. You don't have to call on him. Fred will get down to the bottom of it one way or another. And so now we have somebody who is actually in the White House with press credentials. And we're very excited.
Yeah, because the Jay Carney being on stage and avoiding issues is really just the dog and pony show. I mean, those guys,
It is.
You know, and that's what's frustrating about reporters is a lot of times behind the scenes, they can pressure these guys. They can ask the tough questions, and they often don't. Or even if they do, they don't tell us what happened. You know, they accept the answers and move on to the next story. That's why, you know, when you've seen really good reporters, we notice them because you're just like, wow, they actually did something. So, I mean, this is great. I mean, having a presence there is going to make a big difference.
And this is all due to, this is really all due to your subscription to The Blaze. We have been working on this. The reason why we covered the last convention is you can't get press credentials in the White House unless you have a network, unless you have a bureau in Washington, and if you have covered the last convention, both parties. That's why we covered it, and we weren't ready to cover those conventions. We were just like, whew, it's going to be a little dicey. Let's throw it on the air and see what it looks like. We weren't ready. We needed another 4 years, but it would have meant that we wouldn't have been able to have Fred, Mr. President, it's me, Fred, from The Blaze. We wouldn't have been able to have Fred in the White House until the next president was in. And so we put that on the air a little earlier than we should have. And I know people were probably watching it going, gosh, doesn't seem ready for prime time. We know. But now you know why we've done it. And you know also one of the other reasons why I've been up in Washington, D.C. an awful lot, because we have been putting together our Washington Bureau, and we are thrilled. And there's some more announcements that will revolve around there. We're sending the pack dogs into Washington, and there will be a place now where I'll be able to rest my head and say, "Oh, I have to go to Washington. Gee, it'll be nice to feed the dogs." And we're just thrilled.
How are Fred's impressions? Is he a talented impressionist by any chance?
No, Fred doesn't do it.
I was going to say, if he could just get impersonate the voice of an MSNBC reporter, then when the president's walking, I go, "Mr. President!" And then he'll be like, "Oh, it's my friend Bill." "Oh, no, it's Fred from The Blaze."
Fred! Ah!
That's what we need to do.
I'll check on his impersonation.
Well, you should have checked before you hired the guy.
I think that is
geez.
probably very good. And I'm really excited to have Sara join us as well. She's really good. The stories that she has broken in the past, and I know she's got a few of them she'd like to break now. Gosh darn it, I wish I knew of a place that would print I do know a place that would print those and get those out to the American people. How lucky for us. There's somebody else that we're close to hiring. There's a couple of people that we're very close to hiring that I think when you hear them, you will be excited that we have them as well on board. This is a slow process because we're doing it ourselves. We are doing it based on your subscription every month. And I don't want to get myself into a situation to where I've got a gun to my head and I'm beholden to a bunch of people or a bank or anything else. And so these things really happen because you have supported us for so long, and you have, you subscribe, and you get your friends to subscribe, and you get your kids, and they go to college. You give them a subscription. We really, really appreciate it. Big things are planned. It just takes time to do it.